film breakdown, video analysis, what went right against Bengals and how the Browns can build on it against the Ravens this Sunday. And Lance, that's a game they should have won. Let's start with what was really good, that front seven. Take us through what you saw.
Well, Miles was dominant, right? But there's a lot of help, right? So you're going to see Miles out here, and this is just watch how he just takes this 350-pound tackle and drives him right back into Joe Burrow. And he was able to do that because he got one-on-one because of those other guys. Then you're going to see these defensive tackles. You're going to see a great spin move by Malik Collins, and you're going to see Mason Graham take on two, which allows Miles to get there again. So he had some help. And then you're going to see the bend. Look at that bend from Isaiah McGuire. Obviously, he's a guy who's been learning from Myles Garrett about that bend. So not only was he outstanding, obviously Schlesinger inside as a linebacker, all those second-level guys. I thought Bush played well. I thought Diabate played well. Delpit when he was down in the box. Schlesinger is going to be a really special player. Somebody asked me yesterday, how good would Schlesinger be with JOK? And then I said, what if they drafted Caleb Downs? I mean, you're talking about guys who are just outstanding. So people ask me about the Ravens game. I think they're going to be in this Ravens game because of this group. This group is elite, and this what they did against the Bengals carries over. And obviously they lost the game, and we can all talk about the kicks and everything that went wrong with the interceptions. But as a coach, you look at what went right and what can build on it. And this defensive line, as we talked about leading into the season, is as good as advertised, at least right now that is.
Yeah, and it's different. You know, the Bengals, you have Burrow, you have Chase, you have Higgins. Now it's Lamar Jackson, it's Derrick Henry. A very different challenge. Do you think that looks a little different with the front seven and what they try to do?
Well, it is going to be a little different. Those guys are going to have to be a little bit more stout because what they got to do last week is they got to pin their ears back and just go, right? So they didn't have to worry about the run as much. The Bengals are very, they run the ball to show it, right? There's not a lot of like we're going to stick to the run where they're going to see big double teams. The Ravens are huge across the front, so they're going to have to really anchor in there on the double teams. They probably won't make as many plays. They're going to have to contain Lamar Jackson. So yeah, this is a whole different type of offense. This is what the NFL is. You go from Joe Burrow, who's a top five guy, right to Lamar Jackson, who's another top five guy, who I just love. But it's a whole different skill set. They're going to have to keep them contained, and they're going to have to spy. But again, they have the personnel that they can do this. The big thing is going to be, for me, is going to be Malik Collins, who's not great against doubles, and Mason Graham, who is good against doubles, but has not seen doubles with 700 pounds. So it'll be a transition, but I think those guys will fight in there very well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they do a five-man front. Do you put an extra defense? They have the personnel now to bring in another defensive tackle that can penetrate. The defensive tackles are such a big upgrade. I'm very curious to see how that holds up against the Ravens. Because if you get penetration with the tackles on the interior, that's when Lamar Jackson looks normal. He does not look superhuman when you can get penetration up the middle.
The thing that has separated him the last couple of years for me, it's like Josh Allen. So he was this great runner. He's super talented, but he's become an elite top 10 guy in the pocket, which now you take the running with the pocket stuff. But yeah, you know what? It's funny because a lot of times, I think what the Browns do against him is a really smart move. So he really struggles. I don't say really struggles. He doesn't really struggle with anything. But if you're going to get to him a little bit, you got to mix it up. So I think the Browns will be in some odd front, like you said. I think they'll go with some defensive tackles, maybe add an extra guy in down five-man front. But I also see because of the ability to do things, they're going to walk Schlesinger and Bush up in that A gap. They're going to double mug and they're going to show six almost all game. And that'll make those linemen account for it because what you're trying to do is you're going to try to avoid doubles. These guys are as good as it gets when it comes to double team. And when you have a six-man box, it's hard to double team because you've got to account for the rest of the guys. So Jim Schwartz will have a plan. But the thing I like about Jim Schwartz and these guys is that they're not backing down. And you don't like to, some people don't like to talk or whatever it is, but you have to believe in yourself. And this defense will show up. The other side of the ball is what needs to show up on Sunday because this defensive side will.